Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a look at Road to Vostok. This is a public demo too, or as I would actually want to call it, a technical preview rather than a full-blown demo. Currently this, okay, let's call it a demo just for the sake of argument. This demo does have a couple maps, I do believe 3 areas available, which you can explore. And essentially this is, I would want to say, a survival FPS PvE single player experience type of game. Now, this game's been in development ever since 2022 when it was actually first shown to the public. This is now 2 years later, and well, honestly, there are some improvements in this game, so to say. But yeah, in regards requirements of the game itself, nothing has changed on their Steam page. They still want 760 for minimum GPU and 1060 for recommended. And since we're taking this for a spin with the 4070 Ti, as you can see, we're actually doing pretty well. So we're using 6.8 gigs of video memory allocated, 8.5 of RAM, and we're way above 60 frames. When it comes to the adjustable settings, nothing really to adjust here, as you can see. Literally, we're just going with an unlimited frame rate. Rendering is on standard, there's no DLSS, no FSR, at least I couldn't find it. And yeah, shadows are on high quality, that's all there is really. Outside of this, I guess that's pretty much all there is. You do get a requirement to have food and water. You will get arm fatigue if you actually hold your arms like this. You see this little tiny bar on the bottom left, you see it actually kind of goes down, that's for your arms. So, you know, you do have a game that showcases a lot of things you can possibly do. And performance-wise, honestly, I must say, this is absolutely perfect, in all honesty, because when it comes to these types of games, and I actually was trying to research this topic in comparison to Tarkov or the Grey Zone Warfare or DayZ, for instance. And a lot of people ask the same question. They said, so why would you create a game like this if it's essentially, some people perceive it as a clone of Tarkov even? And I was kind of thinking about it myself for about a couple seconds, and then I figured out that the answer is very simple. Majority of the games we have, like Tarkov and DayZ, they're mostly PvP, PvE, and essentially that is the problem. This game is currently single player only, and you have very hostile enemies which are a little bit of mind readers, and the moment they see you they will shoot you from whichever angle they're able to get a shot at you. So that's one thing, but at the same time you do have all these mechanics of weapon handling, realistic sound design, realistic weapon design, and technically you can just go in and immerse yourself in a very hostile environment where the rewards is whatever you can loot and survive. You can go and trade. They finally did put a trader in here, so if you want to do any quests or obtain better gear or loot, so for instance there's a silencer, there's a better gun, or even medkits, which honestly you kind of should have from a get-go, then obviously this makes sense. But the moment you throw in multiplayer, you get all the problems that comes with it. Like specifically for Tarkov and other games, you either get cheaters, or you have some server instabilities, or you have some, you know, whatever price tag attached to it comes with even heftier price tag. Now, the business model of this particular game dev studio is very similar to Tarkov. You pay once and you get all the bells and whistles, which is great, but I think the emphasis is literally on nice looking game. It's not good looking, it's nice looking. It runs well, which honestly I believe is the biggest, most important step for any survival FPS. And in reality, there are some things that actually kind of make sense when it comes to it. And I don't think they're gonna try to foul this with some pesky multiplayer, because if they did, that would no longer be the game they're trying to make. And so far I must say that the game actually what they are trying to make, it's looking good. Like, I have no issues with this. Now granted, you kind of need to be a little bit of a fan of these types of games to enjoy it, but considering you're only being hindered by actual NPCs rather than the players who will you know, camp you when you walk by and so on and so forth. This would actually be a very good game for people to get into realistic survival shooting titles, so to say, or FPS titles. Because if you go into Tarkov without knowing what the hell Tarkov is, you will have a very bad day. You're gonna have a very bad day. Because you don't know what, how, and why. Here you can explore it at your own pace. You can figure out the combat. You can figure out the tactics, how it all works, what works better for yourself. And you don't have to worry that someone just lays down in the grass, you don't see them, and then they just pop you in the head instantly. Which I think is rather important for new players to kind of start loving the game, so to say. Because if you instantly die, where's the fun in that? And you could obviously say, oh, you know, just get good and so on and so forth. But in reality, you know, unless you persevere, you're not going to learn the game. But this particular game, it just allows you to kind of, you know, slowly embrace the tactic, really, and just see what works for you. And considering that even nowadays, with decent setups, Tarkov sometimes does have some technical issues, right? Then I must say that for amount of stuff that's currently in this particular game, it runs way better, in my opinion, than Tarkov, specifically considering my hardware that I'm running. Now, granted, you could say, oh, but there's not enough eye candy for, you know, XYZ, which, yeah, true, you know, end of the day. But, I mean, do you need that much graphics when it comes to it? Where's your gun? Ah, there was a gun, there was a gun, there was a gun. I mean, do you really require all this eye candy if you could just essentially just learn the game and just run with it, really? Yeah, also, this tech demo, the enemies respawn. And it's a little bit not nice. Because it's like a never-ending horde, but at the same time, you know, kind of helps you to figure out how it all works. The only problem for myself is, in comparison to the first Vostok, the sound design is exactly the same. It is one-to-one. It's very hard for you to say where the shots are coming from and what, how, and why. So I'll just quickly heal up a little bit, because otherwise I'm gonna perish right here, which is not a good idea. Outside of that, everything else is as you might expect. Really, you know, go loot, shoot, get better stuff. I did get some guns and some attachments for them that you can essentially loot from the NPCs, or you can trade with the trader for better guns and you know, scopes and whatnot attachments. And it's, so far it's manageable. Like, amount of stuff in here, it's manageable, luckily, because again, this is for the new players. If the new player can understand that, oh, okay, this particular gun goes with this particular attachment, they will be more happy about anything they find. If you come into the game as a new player and you need to literally learn the whole lore and basically get PhD in gunsmithing just so you can shoot a gun, that's a different level of attitude. And that, obviously, you could say that in general, you know, you need to be relatively immersed, you know, you kind of need a certain mindset to play these types of games, and you would be right. But at the same time, you know, the community is not exactly always that welcoming if you don't know what you're doing. And specifically, I would want to say this game would be very nice if it was it would just allow people to learn in their own pace. You know, you're getting shot at, you run away and you try to survive. And you just learn. You literally learn by doing it. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the other aspects of this game, because honestly I never really kinda, you know, explored them myself. I only know what others have told me or told in the video. So you do have a stash system, you do have a safe home system and stuff like this, and obviously you can kind of play around with a lot of different things, which for now you can just change, because as I said, this is just a demo, or it's more of a, you know, technical preview, which I do like that you can just toggle a thing and thing changes. But yeah, outside of that, I don't know. I'm here just for the raw numbers on the screen, and the numbers are very happy, in all honesty. Like, I do not see any issues with the performance. There's no stutters, no hiccups. Game just runs well, and I do believe this is one of the most important things. And the only other thing missing, in my opinion, would be the sound. The sound design needs to be slightly tweaked, at least when it comes to the bi-directional or directional audio. Because so far I have no idea where the shots are coming from. Technically it sounds like someone shooting from behind me, but I know that someone is over here, because the moment I pop my head out, he's trying to spray me down. Which I honestly can't really blame him for it. But yeah, I don't know, like, overall interesting experience. Can I have your gun, please? But yeah, overall interesting experience, and clearly you might wanna kind of get your hands on it. You know, it's free to play, or free to test, so to say, and if this is something you like, you might just wanna stick around, wishlist this, and once it launches, you can just go at it. If you prefer, obviously, a bit more hardcore things in life, then by all means, DayZ, Tarkov, whatever else you might find that you fancy, just go for it. Give me a gun. Okay, how do I use this place? Nice. That's not exactly what I wanted to do, but oh well. Also, somehow cannot get rid of it anymore. And I cannot shoot as well. So yeah, things like this still needs to be ironed out. So you can see even myself, with no idea what's going on, is able to slightly make things work the way they're not supposed to work. But yeah, anyhow, I'm not gonna take any more of your time, guys. This is just a very quick overview of the game itself and the performance. And the performance is actually pretty decent. So yeah, anything outside of that, definitely leave a comment down below how wrongly I have explained or talked about the game, which obviously a lot of actual players will tell me. And yeah, check it out for yourself, and I'll see you next time. Over and out.